The Razorbacks are moving on to the round of 32, and I'll show you how it all went down. Full highlights next in sports.
The Razorbacks are on to the next round in March Madness after winning over Vermont. Coming up, we'll show you how fans came out in support and hear what a few have to say on why they cheer them on.
After a few beautiful days full of sunshine, today not so much. It's going to be a bit overcast and cool, but better weather arrives this weekend. More details on what you can expect coming right up.
And now, Wake Up Central on THV 11, featuring Amanda Yeager, meteorologist Scott Covert, and Hayden Balgavy.
Well, welcome to Wake Up Central, everybody. It is March 18th, finally Friday.
Finally Friday. Feeling good this Friday. Razorbacks win last night. The Hogs looking great. They're on to the next round. And Scott, what you're telling me is it's going to be a good weekend.
Great weekend, hands down. Now, today's not going to be bad.
Come on.
But it's not going to be near as good as it was the last couple of days. Yesterday was fantastic. Here's what we're waking up to this morning. A live look into downtown Little Rock. You got mostly cloudy skies, dry in downtown Little Rock at the moment. Take a look at radar, and you do find most of the state waking up to dry conditions. Those showers we saw push off to the east already this morning, but there are a couple spotty showers being stubborn on the backside. Sheridan seeing a little bit of rain right now. This is going to be moving near Whitehall, England, that general vicinity. It's very isolated, very spotty. Temperatures outside not bad, upper 50s, low 60s. However, temperatures aren't going to warm up much today. We'll see a high of 62 this morning, and then that cold front moves through around the noon hour, and that's going to mean temperatures drop off pretty steadily. We'll have mostly cloudy skies today. In addition to the cloud cover and the cooler temperatures, well, it's also going to be pretty windy outside, 10 to 20 miles per hour. This weekend shaping up to be fantastic. We'll talk about it coming right up.
Well, of course, March Madness well underway.
Here we go. So, Arkansas, good to go. Doing well last night. Razorbacks, well, on their Twitter page overnight, they were fired up to say the least. Arkansas outlasting Vermont 75-71. I want to talk about this. Tyler Cass is going to show us that new video inside the locker room with reaction.
Day one of the NCAA tournament in the books. Time to just forget your brackets and embrace the madness. And there was plenty of that on day one, filled with upsets, but not the Razorbacks. The Hogs held off a furious upset attempt from a Vermont team that played well beyond their number 13 seed. The Razorbacks, though, on to the round of 32, and now just one game separates the Hogs from a second straight trip to the Sweet 16. I'll show you how it all went down later in sports.
All right, Tyler, Arkansas advances to play the 12 seed New Mexico State on Saturday night. And new this morning, we just learned the tip-off for that ball game is going to be at 7:40 Central Time. The game is on TNT, which means it could be another late night for Razorback fans. They don't mind as long as they win. Now, not only are fans waking up happy, but I bet a lot of them were up late last night watching the ball game. Went to bed probably with a little extra pep in their step.
Yeah, that'll get you through maybe a rough morning trying to catch up. But we saw a good bit of those Hog fans celebrating on Twitter and Facebook, so we know a lot of people were out last night watching. We got Wake Up Central's Michaela Johnson joining us now. So what is the word from all of the Hog fans?
Well, Hayden and Amanda, last night I know a lot of restaurants and bars got some good business because the fans came out in droves to watch. We talked with some Hog fans before the game even ended. It's like they already knew what was going to happen. They didn't doubt the Razorbacks for a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the scene looked like last night. This is at Prospects Bar and Grill. Doesn't look like there's an empty seat in the place, and lots of Razorback red and white. Some of the fans that we had the chance to speak with say supporting the Hogs is nothing new for them.
I've been a Razorback fan since I was born. Hey, I bleed red and white, baby. Go Hogs!
Both of my cousins played for the Razorback football team, and my uncle was the doctor for the Razorback team. So I love the Razorbacks. We've always been fans, and it's fun to watch them in with everybody here cheering them on.
This March Madness also looks very different than last year's as restrictions are lifted. I know it had to feel pretty good for all those fans to cheer on their Hogs together. And coming up at 6:30, we're going to hear from more fans and see what they have to say for what's to come with the Razorbacks. New Mexico State is next. And Hayden, you know, you picked it, all right? Just a little note into his brackets, you know, he said New Mexico was going to win and Arkansas was going to as well. So back to you guys.
What I do. It's what I do is pick winners. It's what I do.
Yeah, but you didn't pick. But the one you picked to win it all,
Don't worry
not
about
a winner.
that. Don't worry about that.
Kentucky.
I think we need some more clarification on what you mean by you pick winner.
Yeah.
I pick mostly winners.
Mostly. Okay.
Two winners.
Kentucky.
He picks winners 10% of the time. Okay, that brings us to today's conversation starter. How does your bracket look this morning after day one of March Madness? Text us 501-376-1111. Let us know, is it busted? Some people said it was this morning.
I know it.
And then I want to hear what y'all think about the Razorback game too last night and how you felt about their big win and if you're excited to get any sleep. Text us this morning. We can't wait to see what you guys have to say.
I was so happy when I woke up this morning. I made the executive decision. I'm not watching a second of it. I can't start it.
Right.
Then I'm going to be up
You'll be
all
hooked.
night. I woke up and I was like, do I check the phone? Hey!
Yeah,
all
I
right.
know. It just put a spring in your step. That's
Yeah.
what I did too. First thing I saw. Made me happy.
Yep, it's good news. Well, speaking of March Madness, just a quick programming note. Due to game coverage, there will not be a noon, 6 or 6:30 newscast tonight, and our 10 p.m. will be an hour later. Don't worry, though. We've got plenty of news with an hour-long newscast at 5. All right, continuing coverage continues today, though, as a jury could decide the fate of a fired Lono County Sheriff's deputy.
Michael Davis is accused of shooting and killing 17-year-old Hunter Britton during a traffic stop last June. Deliberations are set to resume in just a few hours.
Wake Up Central's Michael Aaron is live in Cabot with a look at where things stand. Michael.
Good morning, guys. The biggest highlight of day 3 in this trial, Michael Davis taking the stand in his own defense. Then came closing arguments, and things took a little bit of a turn as the jury went out for deliberations. A juror had a medical emergency inside the Cabot Readiness Center as those deliberations were about to begin. An ambulance came out and had to take that person to the hospital, and then the judge had to call in an alternate juror. But now those deliberations have started with the alternate. Again, the jurors heard from Davis himself earlier in the day. He got emotional multiple times. He told the jury he thought Britton was going to kill him. There was focus on the fire deputy's character, that he's a volunteer firefighter and a father with another child on the way, and a key question: why did he fear for his life? Well, Davis attributes his fear to the noise and smoke coming from Hunter Britton's truck, the time of day, not being able to see Britton's hands, and the teen not listening to his commands. Earlier in the trial, you'll remember that 2 of Britton's friends testified that they heard no verbal commands from Davis until after the shooting. Davis says he told Britton to, quote, "put your hands up and go back into the truck." Ultimately, this all comes down to who the jury believes, Davis or those witnesses. So they will resume their deliberations this morning at 9 o'clock. They have 3 options. They can convict Davis of manslaughter, a lesser charge of negligent homicide, or they can find that he's not guilty on either of those charges. So a lot to watch here today. Mercedes McKay has been in the courtroom throughout this trial. She will be here today and keep us updated on THV11.com and tonight on our news at 5 and 5:30. Reporting live in Cabot, Michael Aaron for Wake Up Central.
All right, thank you so much, Michael.
New information this morning in the killing of a Malvern teenager. The Hot Spring County Sheriff's Office have named a suspect in the murder of 18-year-old Dalen Ross, who was found dead in a ditch in Perla a week ago. Investigators are now searching for 19-year-old Brian Brown. They ask anyone who sees him to call police. And in a different case, a murder suspect has been arrested in Jefferson County. Glenn Sledge, also known as Bird Dog, is charged with capital murder in the death of Terrell Shaw. Officers found Shaw dead in his home this Monday. Sledge was found hiding in a house in Pine Bluff and has now been booked into the county jail.
As Russia's war on Ukraine intensifies, President Biden will speak with China's president later today to warn the Chinese leader that his country will bear responsibility if they support Russia's aggression. Across much of Ukraine, the scenes of devastation are widespread. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. is documenting potential war crimes committed by Russia. On Thursday, he expressed concern about what may come.
We believe that Moscow may be setting the stage to use a chemical weapon and then falsely blame Ukraine to justify escalating its attacks on the Ukrainian people.
Blinken said Russia is likely to bring in foreign mercenaries and systematically kidnap local officials to install its own. A United Nations report says more than $100 billion worth of infrastructure has been destroyed in just the first 3 weeks of the war. Back here at home, students at Central High School showing their support for Ukraine this week. They came up with the idea to create a banner that looks like the Ukrainian flag with their signatures on it and then displaying it in the school until the conflict overseas ends.
Okay, Scott, what's the one thing we need to know about the weather today?
Hey, the one thing you really need to know about the weather today is, well, it's rather warm outside right now. We actually have a front that's going to move through. That cold air pushes through and it's going to drop our temperatures pretty considerably by noon today. So our high is 62. We'll hit that somewhere around, let's say 9, 10 o'clock this morning, with those numbers steadily falling off as we go into the afternoon hours. It's going to be cloudy, but the sunshine does return this weekend. It warms right back up. It's going to feel fantastic. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
A new scam that uses your own bank's number to tell you that you have fraudulent charges. We're keeping you safe and sound this morning on how to better protect yourself.
And the Hogs getting the big win in Buffalo, but there were some upsets on March Madness in day one. And this morning, we want to hear from you guys. Text us 501-376-1111. How's your bracket looking heading into day two?